Welcome back to Narrations, the channel where cinema comes alive through storytelling. If you've ever wanted to experience a movie in full detail without watching the whole film, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a thriller that combines murder, romance, and cultural clash, all while testing the line between violence and peace. This is Witness, 1985. The story begins in rural Pennsylvania, where a young Amish boy named Samuel Lapp and his widowed mother Rachel prepare for a train trip. They're traveling to Baltimore, stepping briefly outside the quiet, sheltered world of their Amish community. On the train, Samuel wanders into the men's restroom and makes a horrifying discovery. Through a small crack in the stall, the boy silently witnesses a brutal murder. Two men corner a victim and stab him to death, leaving Samuel frozen in shock. When the killers leave, Samuel emerges, terrified but alive. His mother Rachel, deeply shaken, reports the crime to the authorities. Enter Detective John Book, played by Harrison Ford. Book is a tough, seasoned Philadelphia cop, a man of the city, with a hardened exterior shaped by years on the force. When he interviews Samuel, the boy's innocent perspective becomes crucial. Book shows Samuel photos of known criminals, hoping he'll identify the killer. At first, the boy doesn't recognize anyone. But then, by accident, Samuel sees a newspaper clipping pinned to the station's wall. He points to a photo of a man in uniform. To Book's shock, Samuel identifies one of the killers as Lieutenant James McPhee, a decorated police officer. The revelation shakes Book to his core. Corruption runs deep within the department, and suddenly the case isn't about bringing down a criminal, it's about exposing dirty cops. Before he can act, McPhee and his men strike first. Book himself becomes the target. An ambush leaves him wounded, bleeding from a gunshot. Barely escaping with Rachel and Samuel, Book flees the city. With nowhere safe to hide, Book does the unthinkable. He retreats into the Amish countryside with Rachel and Samuel. There, hidden among the fields and barns, he tries to recover from his injuries. The clash between Book's gritty urban world and the Amish way of life fuels much of the film's power. At first, Book is out of place. His brash manner and reliance on violence contrast sharply with the Amish devotion to peace, humility, and community. But as days pass, he begins to adapt. He works alongside Rachel's family, helping to raise barns, mend fences, and live simply. Slowly, he earns their trust, and a quiet bond grows between him and Rachel. Their romance is tender but complicated. Rachel is torn between her feelings for Book and her loyalty to Amish traditions. Book, too, struggles. He's drawn to her kindness and strength, but he knows he can never truly belong in her world. Meanwhile, danger lingers. McPhee and his corrupt allies are still searching, determined to silence Samuel before he can testify. Tension builds as Book realizes that hiding won't last forever. The turning point comes when violence finally intrudes into the peaceful Amish community. McPhee and the other dirty cops track Book down. Armed and ruthless, they invade the farmstead. What follows is a masterclass in suspense. Book, though outnumbered, uses his wits and the terrain to his advantage. He lures one attacker into the grain silo, trapping and suffocating him in the rising sea of corn. The second is overpowered in a desperate struggle. Finally, McPhee himself is cornered, only to be met not by bullets, but by the collective resistance of the Amish villagers. They refuse to take up arms, but their sheer presence, a united front of men and women silently standing together, overwhelms him. Surrounded, McPhee surrenders. The crisis ends without bloodshed, thanks to the moral strength of the Amish community and Book's determination to protect Samuel and Rachel. In the aftermath, Book realizes his journey is over. He cannot stay in Rachel's world. Their love, as powerful as it feels, belongs to two incompatible lives. Rachel will remain in her community. Book will return to the city. In their final farewell, their longing glances say everything their words cannot. Book departs, leaving behind the peace he tasted but could never keep. Witness is not just a thriller about crime and corruption. It's a story about culture, morality, and the human desire for connection. Harrison Ford delivers one of his greatest performances, not as a space smuggler or adventurer, but as a man caught between two worlds. Kelly McGillis, as Rachel, gives warmth and strength to her role, embodying both the innocence and quiet resilience of Amish life. The film won critical acclaim, praised for its respectful depiction of Amish traditions and its gripping mix of romance and suspense. It asks powerful questions. Can love survive across cultural divides? Is violence ever justified? And what does it mean to protect innocence in a world full of corruption? If you haven't watched Witness, 1985, it's a film that lingers long after the credits. Suspenseful, tender, and deeply human, it's a thriller unlike any other. Thanks for listening to this narration. If you enjoyed reliving Witness, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Narrations. More cinematic retellings are on the way, and you won't want to miss them.